What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. I'm your host HT, aka Thinga, with the Corner Show. And today's show, I'm gonna be discussing a lot of what's been going on regarding the Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. And there's been a lot of different opinions regarding it. There's been good opinions. There's been bad opinions. There's been perspectives from Black Americans. There's been perspectives from non-Black Americans, and it's weird, but like a lot of the times you can kind of categorize. It's almost as if you can categorize. You can come up with probably 5 or maybe 10 top categorical or perspectives you can kind of come from, and everybody's gonna pretty much agree on one of those very limited perspectives. But for the most part, Black people seem to like by and large, Black people seem to like the performance, albeit for different reasons. Now, there's gonna be some that liked it because of the entertainment. They are Kendrick Lamar fans, or they maybe there's a fan of rap or something like that, or maybe from somebody like my perspective, somebody like me, we probably liked it for the way it made us think, the way that we get to essentially pick apart and find different type of I guess Easter eggs and stuff like that to help show us more of the story of what Kendrick Lamar was trying to show us during the halftime performance. A lot of people kind of look past that, and they got to the point where they came up with anti-Kendrick, let's say not responsive, but opinions, especially I guess pretty much limited themselves to what was it was basically a bunch of Drake people or Drake stands, stuff like that. Honestly, man, for the OVOs out there, listen. If OVOs perspectives and I guess MAGA perspectives also, as far as I'm concerned, those people don't exist. You feel me? So if anybody that says, for those perspectives that's out there that's trying to say, and we're gonna watch one of those today too. But for those perspectives that just said, this is some DI shit, or this is something that wasn't entertaining and stuff like that. Again, it's either gonna come from a MAGA nigga, or I'm sorry, a MAGA supporter, or OVO. You know what I mean? And listen, again, I don't acknowledge those people's existence because they don't have brains of their own. With that aside, I personally think, again, it was dope, to say the least. I mean, even at service level, as far as the performance, as the performance of what it was, a lot of people didn't like it for pretty decent reasons. The audio was, I'm hearing consistent complaints about the audio, and which was interesting. I mean, I don't know. I went to my aunt's house and we said turn up the volume, and then we was cool. You feel me? But other people had a problem with the audio. And whatever, it is what it is. But you can listen to it on YouTube right now, the entire performance, and it looks good to me. You know what I mean? It don't seem to be concerning anymore. It doesn't seem to be concerning anymore, and at least in the YouTube video. But outside of that, I mean, there was a lot of GNX songs. I mean, I guess a lot of people have not. I guess GNX's album hasn't been out long enough for people to grow a strong affinity to that track, to those songs and stuff like that, which is what it is. But I don't know. I like GNX, so I wasn't too much tripping about him playing a lot of those songs. But yeah, a lot of people want to hear a lot of Mad City, Good Kid, Mad City. They want to hear Pimp a Butterfly songs, stuff like that. It is what it is. That's everybody's opinion or whatever. So we'll give people credit for that aspect of it. It's very subjective, and I think there's a lot to appreciate about his halftime performance outside of those subjective matters. But again, we want to make it a subjective conversation by all means. But outside of that, I don't know. There was a lot to unpack there. You know what I mean? And I know it's one thing that I learned from listening to Kendrick Lamar and watching his music videos and stuff like that is that the bro drops hidden messages a lot, and I'm not. And listen, I heard what's that dude name? Damon Wayne said about, I know what he did. I know what he said about this. So overly analytical brothers and stuff like that. I get it. Like some dudes some guys definitely go overboard with their analytical skills and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I actually like the idea of people taking art and finding picking things apart, even though they might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I still like the creativity and where people's minds can kind of take what Kendrick Lamar performed that night. So I mean, it's just like a lot of abstract art. A lot of people just see different things when it comes to art. And I think that's something we all should be able to appreciate from art. Especially, but I would say especially when a lot of the messaging is intended, because a lot of black art is especially like intended to deliver a message that is supposed to inspire. If they're supposed to inspire like political shifts and political discourse and stuff like that. And Kendrick Lamar's performance definitely did that. So I very much so appreciate something like that. I go as far as to say that his performance. I want to say that. I'll go as far as to say the message, which is the revolution. The revolution will be televised. You know what I'm saying? The 40 acres and the mule, so on and so forth. I mean, pretty much everything, everything we hear. Uncle Sam, aka Samuel L. Jackson, say during this little bits and stuff like that. That stuff far exceeded the importance of our entertainment. That's a little bit of a hot take. I get it. Yeah, I know. Don't throw tomatoes at me yet, but that's just how I feel about it. I think when we have entertainers doing what they're supposed to do, and that's delivering inspiring messages that can shift the political climate and stuff like that, and bring things to light that most Americans won't even be thinking about. I think he did a great. Then I will give him great praise for that. I think again, I believe that type of a messaging, that type of political activism is much more important than our personal entertainment, our subjective entertainment. So I think a lot of people, a lot of the comments, a lot of TikTok and stuff like that, TikTokers have been commenting on just exactly that. So, but anyway, without further ado, I want to go ahead and start playing some of these videos and see what these people have to say about Kendrick Lamar's performance.
Things I could say about Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, and it's the only reason that I watched the Super Bowl, but the one thing that sticks out to me is when he said, you can rig the game, but you can't fake influence. Not sure a lot.
So I want to stop right there. You can rig the game, but you can't fake influence. There's a couple things that stick out to me regarding that quote. Basically, he's pointing out what was that thing that happened? So this is as far as rigging the game. This is about the bots. Okay, for everybody that may need to know a little bit more about what he's talking about as far as how does bots and how you rig a game? What does he mean by that? It's all about the algorithm and how you influence the algorithm. So we all kind of know. I don't know. Maybe a lot of us don't know, but I'll give you here's the tea. Here's the sauce. Here's the tea in the meantime. Basically, it's all about the bots. For everybody that doesn't know, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, a lot of stuff. Like the whole goal, right, is to get the views up, right? I always understand it's all about views and getting people's attention. Now, there's a few different ways that you can influence the algorithm or whatever system, the system that each individual platform wants to name this system. But for right now, we would call it the algorithm, like the system of which is essentially drives each and every individual content to be pushed out to a larger audience, right? So, like I was saying, it's all about those views. You know what I'm saying? So basically what needs to happen is in order to get views, right, you need to influence the algorithm. You need to influence the platform that you're sharing your content to push your algorithm to a larger audience, right? So in order to do that, you are gonna have to show that particular platform that your video is interesting. Now, how you do that is by getting up your engagements. That's why all these YouTubers are gonna be saying, hey, like and share and subscribe and comment. They'll ask you a question in the middle of the video for you to just inspire you to leave a comment and stuff like that. Like all of that stuff. They're doing all that stuff to drive up the engagement because it's showing the platform that your video is interesting, right? So when you drive up your videos engagement, or I'm sorry, when the audience drives up your videos engagement, then I will inspire the platform to up your what's that word called? Your impressions. So your impressions, I probably should be showing you this stuff too, but your impressions is basically what's it's like the number. It's the number that its number, it reflects how many people your content was shown to, right? So if all you people on TikTok, it's like your For You page, right? Everybody that's on YouTube, it's your home page. Also, it can be your like suggested videos, or the videos that's gonna come right after. Like every time you see a video on at all, for that matter, that number will be added to every content creator's impressions. I mean, in reference to him talking about rigging the game, the way you would influence the algorithm the way you would rig the game, and so to speak, in this context, is you are essentially doing what you got to do. You're influencing the algorithm to up the engagement. So that's why you get a lot of bots. That's why you see so many bots in these different comment sections saying a bunch of weird little bot things with these half-naked videos and stuff like that, linking themselves to other type of weird content and stuff like that. Like you click on a bot, it could be a sexual picture, it could be some kind of Bitcoin picture, something like that. You click on that bot, it will likely lead you to like some sort of advertisement to a whole nother weird site or whatever like that. That's one of the ways you can tell a bot from a real person. But regardless, essentially they'll swarm these platforms or their content with bots that's gonna leave comments, they're gonna leave fake likes. They're gonna everything you need to do to drive up the engagement of a video, so that this platform is inspired, right, to up your impressions, right, up the number of people that it would show your content in front of, right? So and that's what a lot of what Drake was trying to accuse Kendrick of doing. Like they were saying they was using bots to up Drake like this is all part of that lawsuit. Drake is saying that UMG used bots and things like that and pay other types of paid services to drive up the impressions the engagement and impressions of Not Like Us, and probably even Euphoria and the other songs as well. So like I said, he was using that stuff to, so again, Drake was accusing UMG of using bots and other paid services to drive up the engagements and to drive up the impressions of Not Like Us and probably the other Kendrick Lamar disses. And Kendrick Lamar is saying, hey, the rigging the game is how do you say it? He said you can rig the game, but you can't fake influence. I mean, hey, it's I'm not gonna lie, it do sound like that he's leaving it. Okay, there's two ways you can take this. Is it Grace? The most charitable way of interpreting that is he's leaving it up for interpretation, right? He's not necessarily saying, hey, I didn't, that, I'm not saying, he's not denying what UMG possibly did to drive up the engagement or drive up the influence, let's just go with engagement and impressions of Not Like Us and the other disses. But he's also saying that, hey, what came along with that song was the influence. Like, people love the piss out of those disses, especially not like us. But yeah, the worst, like the least charitable way of interpreting that is he's saying that he's agreeing that, I'm sorry, it's just flat out, I gotta be honest about it. He could be saying, right, that yes, UMG did buy these bots, they did all this stuff, and that's a significant reason why this song has reached the level that it has reached, right? However, again, you have to give even the most vindicated and the most steadfast of the OV hoes will have to admit that song had hella influence, had everybody screaming A minor, had everybody calling Drake a PDF file. Bro, I don't even like saying PDF file. It sounds retarded, but I don't know how else can we really say it. That's what that's he like. What else can you say? He shifted the language. He shifted the cultural YouTube or content creator language. He got everybody saying that Drake is a culture vulture and all this stuff. He got all these type of rappers making remixes. Like, he shifted, that influence shifted the culture very, like, significantly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, like, what's that man named Drake? How he said, like, Family Matters, push-ups, everything that Drake drops is gonna be like damn near like goated. Like, it's gonna be wildly popular. You know what I mean? So to assume that like it's only because of the bots that the Kendrick Lamar diss and Not Like Us and Euphoria has reached the level that it has. It's not the only reason. Like, come on, let's be realistic about it. Drake's song, like, Family Matters would be if Family Matters was better than if Family Matters was a better song than Not Like Us, then we trust me, it would have been out there. You wouldn't even. I argue to say Drake don't even really need bots like that, because his, like, the way the algorithm and like these different type of content, these content platforms like do things. Like, if you have subscribers alone, like, I think Drake is well over millions of subscribers. That subscriber base alone would carry like all of his content into like superstar status. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't got to go. I don't have to go too far on that, to be honest. But just. That was I really want to stop on that part because it was like a very, very important part of this conversation. So let's go. Let's keep going though.
A lot of people understood a lot of the things that he said because he is, as a lot of people have said, he's a messenger. He's a lyricist. He's not an entertainer. And a lot of Americans are looking for mindless fucking entertainment. So a lot of people were bored by it. Like, the biggest thing I've seen is people saying that they were bored.
And this goes to what I said earlier about being like bored and stuff like that. Again, I'm gonna make this one really brief. This is how I feel about it, okay? It might be a hot take, but what's it? Look, you see this? This is SYCBM. This is Save Your Culture Black Male. My perspective is always gonna be a message or a thought-provoking message that can be used to influence everybody's perspective so that it can act political change and I guess fan the fires of civil distress or unrest and inspire people to get up out of their seats and make things happen. Those type of messages that will always be of more value, of greater worth than our individual entertainment, our subjective entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So and I mean, again, this is not even a specific talking point of SYCBM. This is actually just something that community focused people should be utilizing in their own mantras, in their own everyday lives. So that's just how I feel about it. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Well, maybe you should fix your entertainment addiction. I don't know. He also said the 40 acres and a mule, and if you don't know what that is, you should get a history lesson. And I really love that.
So real quick about the 40 acres and a mule, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be pausing a lot. Just bear with me, but this is gonna be really brief. But the 40 acres and a mule thing is in reference to what was promised to American freedmen or emancipated people emancipated black slaves, especially black slaves. I don't know. I don't think it. Well, this is just whatever. Anyway, the 40 acres and a mule thing was promised to emancipated people after the Emancipation Proclamation. Promised them 40 acres and a mule for their essential suffrage of not being able to, of unpaid labor in here in America. And what was interesting about this performance from Kendrick Lamar was the search history, the search of 40 Acres and a Mule was staggering after that Super Bowl performance. And I think that says a lot. I think that says something that I think that says something about our education system. And I think this is something that really needed to happen in order for especially Black Americans to be able to help everybody understand about what was stripped from us as a people. You know, what was stripped from our ancestors that we all could have been benefiting from today. Like I don't have to remind y'all of how much of a driving force real estate is into wealth building and such like that. But that's it's like the biggest thing. It's like the biggest thing right now. Just know that. Now with that said, now that everybody, not everybody obviously, but for those people that just simply didn't know, and now they know, I think that's a really big, I think that's a big first step, if nothing else. Because like the education part is just like, that's something that we all can that we all should have understood coming to the table. And for those, because the problem is, I think the big problem in conversations is a lot of people try to join in on the conversation while being uneducated. So it just kind of holds like the smart people back from like actual solution crafting. If we all have to educate all of the the uneducated stuff like that and get them like up to speed about what the current happenings are, that will Kendrick Lamar and other type of performance bringing the message to the table, to the forefront, is essentially something that we could all will benefit from. Like what else that there's no other way of like slicing it, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, with that aside, let's go back into what she was saying. But yeah, like I said, the 40 Acres and a Mule thing, yeah, we definitely needed that to be a big we definitely needed those type of people to when I say those type of people, let's say the uneducated ones, like we definitely need as many people possible, as many people humanly possible to understand what 40 Acres and a Mule is. And then maybe we can start introducing the conversation about the FHA loans, the Homestead Acts, the GI Bill, and all these other things, so that maybe people will like understand, like, okay, you know what, maybe there is a relevant conversation. I mean, maybe this reparations claim is a relevant conversation. So let's keep going.
Quote, even above the revolution will be televised, because what he was getting at there, if you didn't realize, is that the game has been rigged against the Black community since day one that their ancestors stepped onto this land. Even with the way that the system has been rigged, the Black community has had the largest influence on our culture in this country. Especially love that in the month of February we are talking about this, and having the Black community is having a renaissance. This is their renaissance. The fact that we are
I actually agree with that. Black people having a renaissance. I actually do believe that. It's between that and the Nazi thing. What's that, man? Drake and the Drake beef and stuff like that, and this whole thing that's going on. Like, Black people are really in the news right now, and I think we can definitely use this time to really inspire people politically. You know, we can't just make it all about it. It has to be intentional though. It definitely has to be intentional. That's why, like, I implore all these podcasters to like start introducing community focused like thought into their dialogue, you know, into their content. We don't have to make all these contents about relationships and all this other corny shit. We need to start strategizing community focused upliftment projects as well. We got to get outside and get our hands dirty. You feel me? So that's real brief about that one.
Are really talking about the influences of Black culture and how many of the things that we love today stem from their genius their genius and their creativity and the influence they have had on our society.
So yeah, I don't know what, I couldn't agree more with that lady. So yeah, let me see, the Renaissance, the inspiring the culture, like, yeah, that culture thing is like serious. Like, folks have no idea. I'm always talking to a lot of different people. Trying to adopt as many different perspectives as possible, trying to lock down a lot of talking points, especially the interesting talking points. One thing I heard a white guy say, actually, right, and this was interesting. He said that I think the question was posed as I guess the topic of conversation, it was, is Black American culture like problematic, or is it toxic, or something like that? And one of the white dudes actually said that no. I think somebody tried to say Black Americans have no culture. From that was a conversation, and then somebody said that Black Americans don't have culture. Now we heard Kai Cenat say something to that effect. Other what FBAs will call tethers will say that those tethers again will say that we have no culture, whatever. But what this guy said is, this white man said was, hey, Black people are a significant part of American culture. Like, when you, he went as far as to say we are the leaders of culture, knowing that, I think his reasoning was when you go to these concerts, and you look at the audience, you just see a sea of white people. You know what I mean? And that makes a lot. I don't know. There's not much other way to slice it. Like, some of my favorite rappers: Lupe Fiasco, Nas, Jay-Z, a little bit of Jan, maybe less so Jay-Z, but like DMX, like a whole bunch of people. Like, they even like the newer guys, like the Travis Scotts and it's fun. I'm kind of old, so I can't remember all the new names, but regardless, like, yeah, these new entertainers and rappers, stuff like that, yeah, they have a significant white audience. You know what I mean? And he was, I don't know to say, he was actually right. But I want to add one more point to that, to say that it's not just the fact that we are like talented, through with the rap and stuff like that, and even all the genres of music for that matter. But it's also what needs to be placed into consideration is our population density, right? Like, we only make up 14% of the United States population. Like, we are a significant minority, but at the same time, we are very well represented in all these different types of sports, in music, and a bunch of different things. And it's not even no DEI bullshit. We actually, like, it's been this way for long before DEI, long before affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's black people are just really talented at the things that we put our minds to. So I really did appreciate that guy's perspective on that, because it definitely inspired me to. It definitely got me thinking about it, and had me thinking about and it helped me add on to the conversation, because I think that population density is a significant. It's a significant part of how. It's a significant reason, not a significant reason, but it is an important. I'm drawing a brain fart real quick. The population, the conversation of population density is a very important element to that conversation. Like, if we're such a lower minority, but we make up so much of the audience, or so much of the population that is talented in these different types of fields, I think that speaks a lot to our creativity. Let's see here. 10:52. All right, so let's see what this lady has to say.
Many years ago, a person in my life who is no longer in my life, but is now MAGA, right? That didn't exist back then. But we were at a museum looking at art, and it became clear very quickly that in her mind, the only function of art is to be beautiful. That's it. There is.
So yeah, real quick. So there's a lot of people out there that truly do believe that the only purpose of art is for our enjoyment, right? And she's gonna go further into detail about it, so I'm not gonna bore y'all to death. So I'm not gonna bore y'all to death as far as like my spin on this topic or this talking piece. But yeah, so like I said, art is to be interpreted in multiple different ways, and it's not just for our I guess Jimmy's or our feelings for us to uplift our emotions and stuff like that. Some things is gonna be some artists create to inspire thought, to inspire political change, to inspire sadness, like so on and so forth. Like I mean, I think one of like real briefly, like one of the genres of movies that I always disliked was like horror. You know what I mean? Because I never understood the whole aspect of like, why would I watch something to be angry? I mean, to be scared, you know? Or like Lifetime shows, right? Like, why would I watch something to be sad? Why would I watch something to cry? Why would I watch I don't know, anything to feel anything outside of like joy and like cool anime fights or whatever, right? And like, I mean, some people, but I think there's something to gain from like all these different type of genres. You know what I mean? Like some people enjoy that thrill of being afraid. You know what I mean? That's why we go. You know, that's probably a reason why people go to a roller coaster and stuff like that. They like that adrenaline, that rush and stuff like that. So there's just multiple ways of enjoying like art and things of that nature. So I think that's something people need to put in perspective before they immediately write something off. You know, everything needs to be judged by the intentions, right? That was by the intentions of the artist himself.
No other function of art. Like if you have to think about it, or if it's even remotely ugly, she completely dismissed its value. And she was like, why would anyone want to look at art that's not beautiful? And I'm like, and I loved my art history classes in college. And so I'm trying in earnest to help her understand why art isn't just to be pretty and to make us happy. Now, here's the point. The halftime show is just another example of people like her, who we now have a term for them. We call them MAGA or MAGA.
And OVOs, like those people exist too.
And that is, they don't want to think.
Well, you know, I got to take that back. You know what? The MAGA don't want to think, but the OVOs want to think as hard as they can to make Kendrick Lamar seem irrelevant. That's there you go. That's the difference between the OVOs and the MAGAs. There you go. Y'all not the same people. I apologize, OVOs.
Only want a thing to be the thing. If it's beyond that, they get angry and they get mad and they get frustrated. So last night, all the halftime show for someone with that kind of brain, all it's meant to do is sing and dance and entertain. That's it. Anything beyond that is too much for their little brains. And not only is it too much, it makes them mad. It pisses them off that they have to think, that they have to go, ooh, is there like a deeper message to this? Now, I think he did a really good job of making some of the messages not so obtuse that it gets lost. I think some of it was maybe a little obvious. I don't know. But they don't like that. They don't, especially when it comes to Black and brown people. Don't do anything other than entertain me, give me a good experience, and then you go off and do your thing.
So real quick, so that type of like rhetoric, that perspective, right? Now she's observing the perspective manager, but the perspective that she's speaking to is essentially just narcissist type of personality traits. You know what I mean? The aspect of like dismissing everybody's overall, like dismissing everybody's, not everybody's, but dismissing the artist's or the performer's intentions, right? Like what they like, the message they're trying to convey, and reduce literally everything that these individuals, reduce like these individuals let me try this again. But to reduce everything that these MAGA people like take in as far as everything around them, especially performance, as it needs to entertain me or it needs to end, right? That's speaks to the narcissism within those individuals. You know what I mean? I know we all use the word narcissist a little bit too loosely. I get it, but like the selfish individualism within these people. As people, we need to learn how to be empathetic. We have to learn how to adopt other people's perspectives so we gain understanding, right? We can't just go around and say, "Oh, this isn't to my liking," because I didn't get up and start dancing. Like, listen, there's a lot of reasons why you didn't get up and start dancing. A lot of it's to do is you're not coached enough to you're not cultured in Kendrick Lamar's music to learn to know how to appreciate it. I mean, that's kind of how a lot of stuff kind of just works. You know what I mean? The more you listen to a song, the more you kind of like it a lot of the time. Like the affinity towards that song essentially grows. But of course, you gotta like it to begin with. But that aside, when we learn how to again to throw away our own like selfish desires of being entertained and stuff like that, and being more open to the perspectives and the intended message of these entertainers and just other people in general, like especially in conversations, then we'll start learning how those are the building blocks. That's like the starting point of us, like, I don't know, learning, getting along with each other, right? So that's just how I kind of view that type of what she's saying here.
They don't want any black or brown person to actually challenge us or cause us to think or to wonder or to ask questions or to no. And they would see doing that at a halftime show as extremely inappropriate to do, because your job is to just entertain us. So anyway.
So yeah, so that's pretty much the end of that. Well, that's pretty much what I wanted her to say from there. So that's all I wanted to kind of react to regarding what she just said there. But yeah, I mean, what else there to say that she's absolutely, I mean, she's on the money. Like, these people don't want to hear it, you know, and they don't want to hear it because it's not. I would argue to say it's not just for the sake of entertainment. I think some of the people, especially the ones that do know, because there's those individuals that don't know, and they were never exposed to these types of conversations because of the education, because the government didn't want them to know, you know how that kind of goes. I don't blame people for their ignorance, right? It's just a bad practice to essentially be angry at somebody over their own ignorance. Just educate them or don't, and then move on. You feel me? But those that do know, right, were in attendance, and they have spoken up. You know what I mean? And those are the worst types of people. Like, those are the people that don't want the stuff to get out there. They'll say everything they have to essentially discredit the message, to dismiss the message, to make not even acknowledge the message to begin with, so on and so forth, because they don't want the message to spread. They don't want people asking the scary questions that could essentially chip away at the status quo, you know. And that's what that Kendrick Lamar performance did. Like, and that's why how else can I really say it? That's why I put it as high on the pedestal as I do right now. A lot of my friends will try to say, "Oh, you know," there's been some really interesting jokes that my friends threw at me. You feel me? And I'll give them credit for that. But for the most part, my position is not just that I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, but it's the message that needed to be. It's the message that needed to be stated on that platform. Hate it. I know there's a whole bunch of Cash Money millionaire fans out there, and all these other people, all types of people that can be watching this show, this video. But I'm just saying, Lil Wayne would not have got on that stage and said the revolution would not be televised, right? Lil Wayne would not have made a statement about 40 Acres and a Mule. You know what I mean? He would have got up there and create the imagery of black people coming together and forming the United States flag, and then himself sitting in the divide between the flags. So yeah, hey, as much as entertaining as what's that dude name, Lil Wayne would have been for the halftime performance, I would not have traded that performance for any entertainer for that matter. I just wouldn't, unless they would have been brave enough to come with an even more clear and bold message. You feel me? So let's but I want to bring one more clip.
Dana, I want to talk about the halftime show. Now, I got to tell you, what a nightmare. I kept sitting there saying, maybe I just don't get this guy. Then I find out there's this subplot, there's this drama with Drake, and, he can do a concert, this guy, Kendall Lamar, and he won all these...
Kendall Lamar? Who are these people?
Scrammers, but we had Usher, we had The Weeknd, we had Beyonce, we had Rihanna. I mean, we had performers. I don't know what the hell this guy was doing, but I didn't get it.
No, it's going down as the worst halftime.
So yeah, she's just extremely uncultured. So I can't blame her for anything. See, this is what I'm talking about. She's the ignorant one, right? She just don't know shit. and that's that's okay. Maybe she'll watch one of these TikToks that can explain to her like what the beef was about and what a 40 Acres and a Mule is.
I'm sure.
I thought so.
You can listen.
Do you think
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Think it appealed to the mass market?
No.
It didn't.
As much as
if ratings are in and they're...
So yeah, the mass market. When he says the mass market, he's just talking about white people. You know what I mean? And and the reason I say that is because white people are the majority of the United States population. That is the mass market, and yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You have to. It's like what I said earlier. You have to judge like these entertainers from the merits, from their intentions. Like you can't. If Kendrick Lamar's intention wasn't to appeal to the mass market, then you can't really judge him from that perspective, from that angle. You have to judge him for what he was trying to do. You know what I mean? What his exact intention was. It sounded like he wanted to entertain people, right? But also educate folks. And it just so happens that if that education is to your detriment, or it's supposed to make you feel unrest or uneasy, right? Then I don't know what to tell you. Then I guess it wasn't for you.
There was a bit of entertainment history made. Kendrick Lamar's halftime show was the most watched performance in the history of the game, with 133.5 million people tuning in. That is a larger audience than the Super Bowl game itself. So much for those on the right claiming people turned the TV off. No, they sang, turn the TV off. And for those keeping track, that's over 100 million more than the 24.6 million viewers that tuned in to watch President Donald Trump's second inauguration. Even the YouTube video of the halftime show uploaded yesterday already has more views than Trump's coronation. No need to be humble.
That's funny. There's she put a lot of little funny little things. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much my whole take regarding this Kendrick Lamar stuff. There's not much really else to say. I done gave y'all the whole I done talked y'all ear off about this already. But the fact of the matter is as I said, Kendrick Lamar's performance is not its intention was not solely to entertain people. Okay, his intention was to go up there, let folks know that that the revolution won't be televised. that you can rig the game, but you can't fake influence. You know what I mean? All of these good old zingers that he put out there. The say Drake. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff has been solidified in the internet. We're getting good memes. We're getting some good quality memes. Like every day, damn near, since the Super Bowl, and he has yet again shifted the culture with this latest happening, with this latest addition to this to the bearing of Drake's career. Just playing. Like But Drake's not going anywhere. Like, just to be real about it, Drake's not going anywhere. Kendrick Lamar is likely not going to be catching up with Drake's numbers and stuff like that, raw numbers and stuff like that. And it is what it is. But like, I'm always going to put, I personally am always going to put Drake over, Kendrick over Drake because I value like what Kendrick Lamar says over what Drake's is, what he talks about in his songs. Now, unless people want to start showing me some content that Drake has put out there that is used to influence people politically and fight against the status quo and all that stuff, hey, send them my way, put them in the comments or what you want to do. But and I'll take a listen, you know what I'm saying? I'll give credit when credit is due. But like that's why I got Kendrick over Drake in my opinion. But hey, if y'all think otherwise, that is dope too. I'm not here to divide the Kendrick stands from the Ovi hoes and all that other stuff. I just got my personal takes on it. Anyway, it's been Higher Thinking of the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast, and this has been Corner Show, and I'll see you on the flip side.